I made a video game in 6 months because I wanted to test the whole Steam workflow. That is, creating a game, doing marketing for it so people know about my game, making a Steam page, letting people playtest my game, taking part in Steam Next Fest, and finally, getting rich, releasing my game. Here's how that went. Let's first talk about why I wanted to do this project in the first place. I'm currently working on Pebble, a 3D platformer that's taking much longer than anticipated. And frankly, I was getting a little burnt out from that game, so I started a little side project. And in just a couple of days, I made enormous progress, so I began thinking, maybe I should just focus on this game and fully release it in a few weeks. And that's exactly what I did. So let's talk about Seedrun's almost complete journey. I always wanted to make a farming game. In fact, my very first game that I made as a school assignment was a farming game called Marvel. I know it looks awesome. Of course, I wanted to do things differently than almost every other farming game, so I made a side-scroller instead of a top-down game. I implemented the most essential features that are needed in a farming game. A time system with a day and night cycle, the ability to pick up seeds and plant them in the ground, the option to water them so they grow faster, and so on. The look of my game immediately reminded me of Kingdom, which I really liked. What I love about Kingdom is that it's a fairly simple game on the surface, because you kinda just go left and right to collect and spend coins. But the more you play, the more depth is unlocked. I'm also very much in love with the Pikmin series, where you manage groups of little creatures and watch them execute tasks like carrying things or even fighting. So I knew I wanted some automation in my game as well. I implemented things like drones, which could carry and move pickups. They were neither fun nor helpful, which led me to a new idea. Maybe the plants themselves could grow into living creatures that walk around the farm and help you with your farm work. For example, a watering plant that goes around and waters other plants in the ground. This also allows for a new gameplay aspect, deciding when to sell your plants. Do you let them work for you until they grow old and aren't fresh anymore, meaning they won't give you that much money? Or do you sell them right away after harvesting so you could get the most amount of coins? I really liked this and thought about what different plants could do, and finally decided to create 5 different plant types. But I won't spoil them now, so you can discover them yourself. Now the game only needed a goal, so the player would have something to work towards. Pikmin 3 has an interesting mode where you play against a friend, trying to get a bingo as quickly as possible by completing tasks. Which made me think, maybe my game could become a competitive farming game where you try to get a bingo before your enemy does. With that, the name Seedrun was born. You would achieve a bingo by completing tasks like planting specific seed types, plucking weeds, harvesting resources, saving up coins, and so on. So I started prototyping exactly that. And after playtesting myself, I was confident that this could become a fun game. But I didn't just want to decide that for myself, so I asked some friends to playtest the game. They all put in the same world seed, so everyone got the same bingo tasks and started playing. The game didn't have a tutorial yet, so I had to explain things myself, which was harder than I thought. I could see how confusing the game was for someone who had never seen it before.
Ich glaube, es könnte ein bisschen klarer werden, ob die gerade arbeiten oder halt wann die reif sind.
Ja, ich merke schon, den hast du gerade nämlich totgegossen.
Tja. Ups.
Once they understood the concept, they began having fun though. They also found some exploits and bugs. After playing, most players gave the same crucial notes. They liked the game loop, but didn't like the run aspect of the game. It felt bad to cultivate a farm and slowly upgrade tools and plants, only to get a bingo and do the whole thing from scratch in the next run. They wanted to infinitely keep playing in one world, which really makes sense if you think about it. Most players also didn't care about the multiplayer aspect of the game. They just wanted to build a farm in their own pace. Because of these reasons, I scrapped the random runs and designed the game to be in one world that the player can slowly build and improve. I also simplified the bingo idea because almost every player was overwhelmed and didn't understand the big bingo interface. The bingo system also didn't really have a point anymore, because players didn't need to compete with other players. So I kept the bingo tasks and put them onto a bulletin board. Now players could choose tasks they wanted to complete to get rewards. Okay, The game changed quite a bit, which meant I needed to design a new player goal. I played games like Notebuster and Dice People while creating Seedrun and really liked their scope and length. You can finish them in 2 to 3 sittings. These incremental games had 2 things in common: fighting and leveling up a big skill tree that improves your fighting. So I thought about also implementing incremental concepts into Seedrun. Almost everything in the game could be leveled up to improve things like grow speed, attack power, carry strength, work speed, and so on. I created a skill tree and decided a new player goal: complete at least 80% of the skill tree to unlock the ending. Skills can be unlocked by paying coins and blooms, which meant the game now had a closed gameplay loop. Tend plants, gather resources, get currency for tasks or plants, upgrade skills with currency to improve tending plants or gathering resources. After balancing everything, I started to prepare everything for the Steam release. I paid the Steam fee and began work on the Steam page. I needed to create screenshots, a trailer, a description, and so on. For that I created a logo, recorded gameplay footage, and made music for the trailer. When everything was done, I published the page and waited for the wishlists to come in. I usually get about 0 to 3 wishlists per day. That's not good, but it was to be expected. How could people know about my game? I needed some type of marketing. In the past I released devlogs and shorts on YouTube and TikTok about my other projects, but they took long to make and didn't really help raising the wishlist count. So this time I experimented with shorts that I could put out quickly, so I could usually publish 1 video per day. I don't think this approach is better than the quality over quantity approach, but I guess my shorts should have better chances of being discovered just because I make more now? Can't say for sure. Nothing went viral yet. There's another big opportunity to gain visibility though. Steam Next Fest. Steam Next Fest is a week-long event where demos of games are presented on the main store page on Steam. You can register your game for one Next Fest, and they say it's best to pick the one closest to your release window. So I began preparing for it. That meant I needed to create a version of my game that's interesting and long enough for the players to be hooked to the game, but also short enough so they don't get full of it and never buy the full version. So I decided to block off some areas and only allowed around 10 skills to be unlocked. The players can still find out what's unique about Seedrun and also discover 2 of the 5 plant types. I tried my best to tease the other features so players knew there was more to the game in the full version. I also reached out to content creators and told them about the demo 2 weeks before Next Fest started, but I haven't found any major news or videos about my game yet. Which brings us to the present. Steam Next Fest is here and the wishlists are definitely going up, but I need your help for this to continue. If you're interested in the game, why not try the free demo? Seedrun will come out on November 28. If you want to get notified when it releases, consider wishlisting it on Steam. It really helps out a lot. If you're interested in a more in-depth video about the step-by-step progress of making Seedrun, please let me know. Until then, have fun playing the demo.